Tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hello, AfterBuzzers! Welcome to an all-new Shadowhunters after show here at AfterBuzz TV. I'm your host, Sam Davidson. If you guys haven't done so already, please go on iTunes, YouTube, SoundCloud, rate, review, subscribe. We love hearing your feedback. You guys are my favorite fans ever. You have amazing things to say, so please keep it up. We have a very special guest with us in the studio today, Mr. Harry Shum Jr.
Yeah.
Hello.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. For those of you that don't know, where can everyone find you on the interweb?
Interweb, you can follow me on Twitter at Harry Shum Jr. and on Instagram at Harry Shum Jr.
Beautiful. And guys, Dakota is not here today, but he is here virtually. Skyping.
Hi, guys.
Dakota, where can everyone find you online?
You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at Mr. Dakota T. Jones.
Awesome. And I have two lovely ladies here. Introduce yourself. Let us know where we can find you on Twitter.
You can find me at Becca B Talks TV.
Hey guys, I'm Erin Lane. You can find me on my blog at alwayseatyourcake.com, on Instagram at alwayseatyourcake, and on Twitter and Skype at loveerinlane. Wait, Skype? I don't have Skype. Snapchat, that's what I have.
Just give your Skype name
totally
out.
freaking me out. Hey guys,
And you can call me at A1A.
Let's chat.
Yeah, Erin's a little excited.
Erin's very confused.
You know, we love the fans. You guys have been really excited. You guys can find me, Sam Davidson, SamD43, Twitter and Instagram, and of course AfterBuzz TV at AfterBuzz TV on all social media platforms. We have Becca in the live chat. We got your questions for ABTV, Ask Magnus, and of course, don't forget to use the hashtag ABTV Shadowhunters. Today we are talking about Season 1, Episode 8, Bad Blood, hence...
Already episode 8.
I know, hence the awesome song. And I just want to say this real quick. If you guys haven't seen it already, Harry and a bunch of our other favorite cast members made a really fun Bad Blood
So good.
video. It's on my Twitter. I'll retweet it, and I just think you guys would all really enjoy it. So, yeah.
Yeah, it was fun to shoot, so hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I mean, we saw that it was called, the episode was called Bad Blood, and Kat just thought had a good idea
It's just
of us to get together and do a lip dub.
Love it.
Very appropriate.
Well, let's get into the beginning, just the whole episode, actually. You know, we start off where we left off with Clary and Jace, but now there's the cup in between them instead of, like, their lips.
Which I'm sure many people are very sad about.
Yeah.
It's a big moment.
I'm sad now.
I know, I kind of wanted to just
It's a
see...
good kiss.
Oh, it was?
Good kiss.
It was a
We waited for that kiss for a long time, guys.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did it live up?
It did.
Yeah.
Yes. We kept predicting when, like, the first kiss on the show. Yeah.
Well, and now everyone all the shippers are moving on to the Malik.
Yeah.
The
No,
Malik.
they've been lips done.
They've been waiting for
love
that.
There are
Malik.
people with Twitter handles that are like at I love Malik.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
It's insane, and it's insane. Like the pictures and the profile pics, and even the fan art. It's incredible what these fans. They're very talented too.
They are.
Very creative.
Well, it's funny because, you know, most of the fans of this show that are the diehard ones that were fans of Malik before it was really even introduced on the TV show, they knew it was going to happen, so they read books. They're smart.
Yeah.
We read good.
I mean, honestly, I feel
smart
like
like
it
Erin.
makes them a bit more intelligent than, you know, some other fans. It's like, these people read.
Yeah.
No, I mean, you know, at the end of the day, like when even on Twitter, what I've noticed on the social media when I look at it, just the responses. There's ones that all they want is to see a kiss, but there's ones that really get in the questions they ask about, the intricate questions they ask about the characters. I find it so fascinating because obviously the books went is a lot more in depth. They went a lot more in depth with the characters and the backgrounds and stories. So it's been really great to have a fan base that they know these characters, you know, almost better than we do at the end of the day.
Definitely.
Oh, yeah.
They know these characters better than basically any of us. I mean, you know, I've read some of the books. Erin has almost read all of them.
Yeah, I'm in book 6.
Yeah.
I'm listening to them. It's not
Audio.
Crystal's reading them. Yeah, but
Still reading,
It's
okay,
still
Becca?
reading.
No, it's still. Yeah.
Did you read the books, Harry?
I read the Bane Chronicles, and I'm on book right now. I did City of Bones when I first got the show, and then right now I'm slow. I don't want to get ahead of myself.
Okay.
Yeah. And the way the show has been going though is they've been taking a lot from Bane Chronicles, even the books ahead, and implementing it in there, because obviously there's a lot of stuff that's left out that heck, Magnus Bane wouldn't even be in this season if we followed it exactly.
Right. I really like that they've taken kind of their own, own turns here. It's not following the books exactly, which is great because we've talked about this before. It gives people something to look forward to and be surprised by.
To everyone, not just the fans of the books, but just people who don't even know anything about the books. And I think you have to bring those people in too.
Yeah, and I feel like even as an actor, maybe it would be a disservice to some of you guys to really read everything, because you might be expecting some things in the back of your head that aren't ever going to happen.
Yeah, and then you look at it in a way where it might not be, I don't know, whether it be judgmental. I don't know. You never want to judge anything, but if you kind of know what's happening and then you realize that it doesn't, and you're like, it puts you in a different mind frame. And it's not like a film. Like a film, obviously, I think you've got to read everything because there's an end game.
Right.
Unless there's many sequels.
Exactly.
But yeah, I think for a TV show, you kind of want to take it as you're going. Same thing as we get our scripts. Like, we don't get all of them.
I was just going to ask that. How far ahead do you get to read?
One right before. We're all, it's almost like how the fans are watching. It's the same thing. Like, we want to know what's happening next on the next episode, but we might not get the script till maybe like a couple days or a week before we start shooting. So
I think that's kind of nice, because as an actor you're able to like live in the moment and really like not know what's going to happen to you in the future as for your character. So I really like that.
Yeah, it definitely helps, and because if you know too far ahead, then you're going to play it a little differently.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's also torture at the same time.
Yeah.
It's like, what's happening next?
Well, and I'm sure you get a lot of questions from the fans thinking that you know exactly what's going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
What happens now? What happens next?
Oh yeah. And even though I've read the scripts, even for the other character scenes that I'm not in, it sometimes changes and I'm not there. Like even in episode 8 in Bad Blood, a lot of things that happen turned out a little differently than what I read, because I wasn't there. I'm not in those scenes, so I'm only there for the scenes that I shot, and so I'm watching it as a viewer and as a fan as well.
You get to be surprised.
Exactly.
Well, what's fun about these scenes, especially the ones that you're not in, though, is because in this episode you're mentioned.
Yeah.
Now that we're getting towards the end half of the season, you are a huge player in all of this, but it's been built up slowly. So I think it's a lot of fun, and I liked this episode because, yes, we saw you, but we were just talking about you.
This was a big Magnus episode, which people have been really building up to. I mean, I know everyone that read the books, Magnus is my favorite character, and you kind of have this picture of what he's going to be like, and sometimes characters don't live up to your expectations, but I think for the fans, you totally embody Magnus Bane for everybody. So we've been kind of waiting to have a big Magnus episode.
Yeah.
Everyone is very
Apparently
pleased.
so has Alec.
Yes.
Well, he doesn't know it yet.
No, it's deep down.
He doesn't know it
Yeah.
yet.
Well, we created a hashtag a few weeks ago with the episode where Luke was being you were healing him in your place. It was Hotel Magnus, because I was like, I would really like to stay there and be treated by Magnus. I mean, look at that red room.
Oh yeah, he'll take care of you.
Oh,
You saw him, and it was, he wants to make everyone feel comfortable, and to the point where it's almost like, okay, Magnus, thank you.
I love it.
Yeah, and the viewers in the chat were just like hashtag all the way down, hashtag Hotel Magnus.
I love it.
Hotel Magnus.
Yeah, maybe
Moving in.
That could be another spin-off.
Let's all move in.
But in the future.
Please. You're welcome.
Yeah,
You're
it
welcome
would be
here.
very futuristic. All right, let's get into Alec a little bit. And Alec is very smart, I think, and not that he's smarter than everyone, but he's the least emotionally involved, which makes him kind of smarter in a way, because
He's logical. He's very logical.
Or is he the least emotionally?
well,
He's a very emotionally repressed.
He
at least
doesn't
at this point.
show like he's.
He's been trained. He's been trained to take care of the Lightwood family, for the name and honor, and and the law. He has to be able to he's a leader, you know, at the end of the day. So I mean, these things, you're not really, as a warrior or as a soldier, you don't think with your heart.
And especially now that his leadership, in a way, is being challenged a bit. You know, his family's not really allowing him to step into that role as much as he did in the past. So I think now he's kind of pushing his emotions aside even more.
Yeah. And he is right at the beginning of this episode. He's so paranoid that someone is going to break in and come into the Institute. And next thing you know, the alarm goes off that a downworlder is outside. They all run, and I love that Clary was like, "Oh, does that mean me too?" She kind of like grabbed her sword, but she still had her purse. Like,
right? You always gotta bring a purse. You're clutch.
I always bring my purse. I remember.
I have nightmares where I'm being kidnapped, and I'm like, "But what about my purse?"
So she's got like bag in one side and her sword in the other, and she runs out there all tough and is ready for it. It's great. I love it.
Well, she's got it. You know, I love that too because it makes her more human because she really was.
It is
human.
those things.
It's relatable.
We think and you might not know what you're doing at that moment. Like it's so automatic to grab the thing. Like even your phone. You know, for us.
Oh my
now,
God.
like you wouldn't know what you'd do without your phone, so that's always in your mind. Like, where's my phone? No matter what, oh my God, he's gonna kill me, but it's okay. I need to get my phone. Like, dog.
Yup.
I really like that
Pretty
too
much.
because we've seen Clary kind of struggling between coming from a regular, normal life and now stepping into Shadowhunter world. So she's still having that auto reaction to I might need this. I also need this sword.
And it's also in that small span of time. It's
very
what
small.
is it like two weeks? 2 weeks now.
She's so familiar with
It's
it.
crazy. Imagine, like, it's not like it seems like it's been for us. The show's been going on for a couple months now.
Yeah.
So it seems like it's been a couple of months. Like, come on, better get used to this. But no, I mean, in the time frame it's been only a week, I think. Really.
Well, yeah. Well, it makes me think too. God, they're not sleeping because when
When do they have time to sleep? That's a great question.
In this episode,
in the commercial breaks.
Yeah, commercial breaks. That's what
3.5 minutes. Go.
Because Raphael is the downworlder that is outside.
He doesn't sleep.
He doesn't sleep, but he has Simon in his arms, and Simon's dead. And I really loved the moment, though, when all the Shadowhunters, when they saw Simon, they dropped their swords, because they were shocked and so sad.
They never knew that this would happen. I mean, and at the end of the day, it kind of traces back to how he got involved is because of them, and obviously it goes back to Clary, and obviously she knows it that this wouldn't have happened without her, but I thought that was brilliantly played, and I mean I want to say Alberto just he was incredible in this episode. He blew me away.
Yeah,
he gets better and better. I mean, he started off really strong. He was amazing from the beginning, but every episode he gets better.
I mean, it made you feel like this. You can't. I don't even know exactly what was a parallel for him as far as what does it feel like to turn into a vampire?
Maybe it's like going through puberty for the first time.
Right. Man, if that's how he reacted, if you're going through puberty,
God. No.
Oh man.
No way.
I pass. Dakota's like, I didn't do that.
Yeah, I was very.
You didn't turn into a vampire?
No vampires, no blood.
Nope, no blood.
Okay.
Well, what I think, though, was so funny when I say about the sleeping is that when they bring Simon down to the basement and everything, and Raphael says something about you need to make a decision by sunset? Or, no, sunrise. Sunrise. So I'm, like, thinking, what time is it right now? Mm-hmm. I'm thinking it was maybe, like, 5 in the morning.
With her, she still went to see his mom. So I think there was still some time.
Yeah.
I think
There's a little more time.
So they had the day, I think.
Yeah, I think the night, like probably the beginning of the night, because when he came in, it was, I don't know, maybe like I would say 1 in the morning, and then with all the visits that she made, I think there had to have been some time in between.
Yeah, it was interesting and very sad. This one really got me. I think I might have shed a tear.
I think same here.
Especially because, then Clary starts realizing that Simon had been reaching out to her this whole time. He's going through something and she's been pushing him back and pushing him back. And then this happens.
I mean, I think we blame the service, the cell phone service, for her phone not ringing.
Obviously.
Yeah.
There we go.
Just get through voicemail. But no, it was, I think with that was a really powerful, this was a really powerful episode in the sense that transition has got to be one of the most, even from her knowing that figuring out that she's a Shadowhunter, at least she got to do it in a slower transition. But this, he was freaking out because no one was guiding him at the end of the day. I think it just happens abruptly in a sense, like he knew something was wrong, but he didn't know exactly what.
He just wanted answers, certain answers.
Yeah.
And I feel like in retrospect, probably Jace and Alec are going to feel bad because we saw a look on their face a couple times where they looked at Simon like, what the hell? What are you doing? You're so fast.
Why are you ripping off door hinges?
Well, that's one of those things that happens in the show a lot, that we as the audience, we know what's going to happen, we know what's going on, but the characters don't know it yet. So we are kind of, we're seeing these things from the outside, looking at, like, how are you guys not seeing this? How do you not notice this? But we forget that they're in it, and they're living
then
their
also
lives.
have a lot more things to worry about outside of, is he turning into a vampire?
Exactly. And that's not something that's probably typically on the forefront of your mind. You're not like, he's a little fast. He's probably a vampire.
He's just probably really good at track and field.
Well, if you're a Shadowhunter and he was kidnapped in the vampire hotel for a few days, I don't know. But I get they have a lot of other things on their minds. I understand. Will Magnus get involved? Can you say with any of this vampire stuff with Simon, or is it they just have so many other things?
He gets involved with a vampire. I'll tell you that.
Oh well, yes, I know that he. We haven't showed you yet. We have a love octagon.
Oh really?
Yes.
Yeah, it's actually behind you. It looks like a little kid.
We're really good at arts and crafts.
We are.
Look
but
at this.
I do know that you and Camille had a thing.
Yeah, they had a thing
in the past.
They had a thing in the past, and obviously we see Camille kind of return. Although in this episode, something happens to her.
Yes.
We don't know quite what it is quite yet.
We are not sure.
Something dark and ominous, though. Yeah.
But we'll see a bring back of that relationship.
Ooh, good.
That's gonna be fun.
That's awesome. I can't wait. Really quickly, I want to make sure we touch upon the scene with Jocelyn and Valentine. It was super creepy, but important. I think nonetheless, Valentine is talking to Jocelyn's unconscious body that's floating in the air.
As one normally would.
Telling her how much he loves her, talking about their wedding day. It's like, gotta keep your women close. He's just...
You definitely, and not moving.
Valentine has a weird way of expressing love.
I mean, I guess when she's floating, it doesn't seem so bad, I guess, but it's still really much.
It's a little rough.
It is, right?
Yeah.
It's a little rough. Okay.
Like,
I actually really like how we're only getting these very small bits of Valentine because
Me too.
You almost think, oh, that was 2 minutes, it's not important, but every little bit is kind of adding up.
No, it is.
Yeah.
And it's not really trying to humanize him, but at the end of the day, you want to know why someone turns evil, why someone's doing it, because they all have their reasons. Might not be a good reason in our minds, but in episode 6, we see a lot of flashbacks of why he's doing that. At the end of the day, you could see that he really genuinely cares about her. Yeah. But there's ulterior motives.
But he's a psychopath.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's what I love. I talk about this like every episode that we talk about Valentine. I love a villain that you have a soft spot for. Yeah. Then my example is always Snape because I love him so much. But I'm already kind of feeling like that with Valentine, which is weird because in the books I didn't feel like that. In the books, to me, I'm like, you are a cold-blooded killer. You're a bad person. But now that we're kind of showing this more human side of him in the show, I'm getting that I love Valentine kind of thing, which I like as a viewer because it makes you wrestle with your own feelings.
And Alan, the actor who plays Valentine, he has this almost like charisma that he brings into Valentine. I think that helps it too because it's something like I don't trust him, but I want to.
But yeah,
but he's
and everything that comes out of his mouth is wrong.
Which is great because you can kind of see how he would have been able to lead
to manipulate people. Yeah, exactly.
And I see that like on his following his tweets. I see that side of him too.
Okay, he's hilarious.
Hilarious.
Well, on Valentine's Day, he made it all about Valentine's.
So great. No, I just die out laughing whenever I see any of his tweets on my timeline.
Yeah, he's great.
Well, I have a question for you, Harry, because we know that Jocelyn has a past with Magnus and they were friends. What do we know much about what his relationship was with Valentine in the past? Was he ever a friend or was he always a foe?
For the past, from what I've known and I don't want to twist anything because I don't know if they're going to touch upon it on the show, but for me, it's like he stayed away from it all. He knew the past of the Lightwoods and Herondales, but he wanted to make sure that wasn't crossed. That he wanted to keep it as what Valentine was. He wanted to keep it pure. I think at the end of the day, that's what he wanted to do, but. Why he's helping with the Shadowhunters was he didn't want to do that at the end of the day, but obviously certain things enticed him to help out outside of Clary and even Alec. Those are the main reasons why he feels like he needs to, I guess, for taking her memories away, feels like he needs to contribute in some way.
And I think that Magnus does care for Clary, kind of like a little sister, maybe. And I just think it's an interesting dynamic that I would like to see a little bit more of. Because, you know, at first I was like, why is he being so nice to her?
Well, I think it's because maybe her mom, like, trusts Magnus and...
Yeah.
Well, he also sees a lot of her and her mom and vice versa, and also what Jocelyn stood for. You know, she was fighting against the Circle, you know, and even being an ex-Circle member. I think he wants to see Clary do the right thing and guide her in a way, but also any way he can help her out. But it's weird because, you know, I look at Magnus, he's this warlock that's been alive for hundreds of years, but he also, I think there's he's stunted in the sense that he's still immature in a lot of ways, even though he's very experienced. So I think he's experienced and confident in his magic, but there's a lot of insecurities that he has within himself as being just in his relationships, and he's gone through a lot of heartbreaks in relationships. So, you know, it keeps him a little closed off. And I think with the whole Alex situation, I think it's definitely given him a reason to open up again.
Which I really like. That's something that I've actually thought about every time I see an episode with Magnus, because we do forget sometimes how old he is. He's been around for a very long time, and you see him kind of wrestle with things the way, you know, like a teenager or a young adult would in relationships of being a little unsure of how to navigate that territory. And I think it's cool to see that, because you expect someone that's 300, 400, however old he is, to have it dialed in, knows what he wants, goes after it. But it makes him relatable. It kind of brings him back. Yeah,
well, there's a lot of people, I think, in life that are older that still wrestle with the idea of these habits that I just can't get over. And you got to think the way he looks too. He looks a lot younger, so there's some part of him that still stays with that within his personality.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta.
I don't know if you know the answer to this question, but as a warlock, age-wise, so do warlocks stop themselves from aging like on their own accord with their magic, or do they naturally stop aging at a certain age? Because, I mean, you don't look like you're 400 years old or however many.
This would be a different show if I looked like I'm 400. Come here, Alec.
Well, it's like a vampire.
Alec may not be as interested in your character.
No.
500 years old.
I mean, he could. I don't know. Can he glamour someone else? Make him look different. I would think that the warlock would have the capabilities to be in a state where they feel the most comfortable.
Yeah.
You know, you'll see another warlock kind of come into the show in the future that people who've read the books will be very familiar with. But you'll see that his look is just very specific as well. And I mean, that's all I can say about that, but I think that's going to be fun. You're going to see him interact with Magnus a lot, and I'm really looking forward for people to see that.
Astrid on the chat said that Magnus naturally stops aging at 19.
Is that
19? All right.
But not all warlocks naturally stop aging at 19.
No.
Yeah.
So I think it must be, you know,
it's like
this is how I feel very good at this age. I'm going to keep this one forever.
I mean, it's just like
age.
humans, you know. Some people just look young forever, and some people want to keep maintaining it with outside forces.
Also, Magnus has really good fashion sense.
He does.
Oh, yeah.
He has very good fashion sense.
And so much glitter, and it's great.
Which,
it's fantastic.
I have a question that involves glitter from Taylor_84. How much glitter is too much glitter?
Well, the Magnus answer is it's never too much glitter. For me, I would say yes. Okay, let's stop right there because I can't breathe. But it was really fun. You know, when we started shooting, I had Katie, our makeup artist. She was like, "Don't put the glitter anywhere near this table." She's like, "I want to keep it glitter free." She's like, "If you're gonna put glitter, you have to go outside because it's gonna get all over everything." And towards the end of the show, she's like, whatever. Let's modify everything. Let's just make it happen. I love it. She's like, I love it. Let's just throw it all over the place.
Got to embrace the
I agree
glitter.
with the
Gotta
Magnus
embrace the
answer.
Yeah, right?
And
It's never enough.
We actually, I think it was John Core last week who told us, but he was mentioning how you were very, very involved when it came to like your costumes and how your character looked, and he just said that basically you just like lived and breathed that.
Yeah, it was important for me because it's you have to be so specific with it,
Right.
and it's hard because someone else's vision doesn't coincide with your vision when you're playing the character, so there's going to be this disconnect. So I wanted to be as involved as much as possible, and they were so great with opening that up to me, and we'd have fittings that would take about sometimes 3-4 hours, and it would be built from scratch. So these jackets would just look like normal blazers, and they'd start adding, like cutting it up, and we'd start adding little jewelry and making the shape fit perfectly for a Magnus-like look. And even with the makeup, I had to get my wife helped me out on getting what is it called, different eye color, eye shade, eyeshadow.
This is such
I know
like,
what it looks. I'm such a dude. I'm just like that thing that changes color.
The stuff that you put on your face.
That stuff. So she was helping me out and getting different colors and even nail polish. So I had to kind of learn all these things. I know what the tarsal plate, the under the eye thing now.
I don't even know
like
if I know.
Yeah, I don't.
And that was the scariest part because I did not want anything to come close to my eye, and I'm like, well, that's where all the makeup lives. So I had to get over that fear of doing it. But
you forget as a woman how much you're like, oh yeah, you just put stuff in your eyes.
I mean, girls do it while they're driving in the car, and they're like,
Oh, I know.
It's
It's true.
insane.
No, I can't. I can't
Oh, I
do
do it.
mascara.
I do it
at
while
all.
I'm driving in the car. I did that
I
today.
can't.
Well,
Maybe
speaking-
Halloween as Magnus.
Yeah. Oh, that would be great. Oh,
Yes.
yes. Speaking of ladies, we meet a new lady this episode.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Lydia.
and that entrance was.
Lydia
Oh, that
ran
was an
well.
entrance.
Great entrance, right? I mean,
I wouldn't
That
make
was a
entrances
Magnus
like
Thor.
that.
entrance, may I just say.
Yes.
I want to walk in rooms like that.
Well,
As Valentine?
as
No,
Valentine.
not as Valentine. Afterwards.
I would like to walk in rooms as a man.
Every room has a man. And then change.
No,
You'll get a lot of
afterwards.
attention.
yeah.
Because that was like the way she walks.
Well,
is
she
just-
demands attention and respect.
and everyone.
And I mean, the arrow catch.
Give her attention.
Just she has, when she came into the show, she has a strong presence, and it's needed. Especially for a character that no one knows anything about.
Yeah.
So she has to really put a stamp on it from the very beginning, and then we could see her kind of show her colors after that.
Yeah, and we find out that she's there from the Clave to look over things, to see what's going on, take over for a little bit temporarily, but not forever. We end up finding out, at the end of the episode that she's there for good. And she I mean, I don't hate her, but I know some people will probably because of what happens
Wait.
at the end of the episode. But let's just start with how Alec and Lydia's relationship starts developing in an odd way. So we have the Forsaken that have come from Valentine that go to attack the Wolf Pack, and Luke tells Alec, about it, which is cool. People are starting to work together, all these different factions. I love it. Because at this point, as Magnus was the first other, downworlder in sorts to jump on this bandwagon to...
Shadowhunter.
Exactly. But now we're really seeing that people are all on the same side, and Lydia even said that when they go to see the werewolves. She said, listen, I know I'm a bit abrasive, but we're all on the same side here. And I've been saying that the entire time.
Because it affects everyone. I mean,
Yeah.
whatever Valentine does, it affects everyone.
Absolutely.
Right. So
Not
it's like
only
you're
one
more powerful together than
Exactly.
you are apart.
But it's hard to work together. Everyone has their ways, and they've been taught to not mix. Not take care of your own people. So it really, I think it's very relatable. It's hard because whether it be a different, even department, if you're working on plays, you usually don't mix. You're like, no, you do your job and we do our job. But sometimes when you come together, it really can speed things up to get to that goal.
Yeah, and we talk about this on the show a lot of how, the show is really fun and it's action-packed and it's awesome, but it's really smartly written. It's got great social commentary if you really look at it from that way. From the outside, we look at it and we're like, why can't you all work together? I don't understand. But then if you look around you in the real world, that happens all the time.
Exactly.
So it's cool to see it with, with the warlocks and the fairies and everybody, we're all rooting for them to come together, which is a really cool perspective to have as a viewer.
Yeah,
I think definitely for this episode in particular, we finally start seeing everyone start to realize, hey, maybe if we work together, we can actually accomplish the end goal here. So I really appreciated how, like, on this episode, everyone was starting to come together and it was finally starting to move forward as like a team rather than everyone on their own sides.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're getting some people in the chat talking about this, so let's touch on it. First of all, when they're still at the Chinese restaurant, we find out that the Lightwood parents were original Circle members. Alec is really pissed.
It was hard for him to take that.
Yeah.
Alex's face.
See, I actually, weirdly enough, I didn't know up until this point in the show that they didn't know, because I read the books, and in the books they do know, and I wasn't really aware, and it kind of hit me like, oh, wow, they hid that from them this whole time. That's a long time to keep something like that from your children.
Yeah, it hit me when Alex's face and then cuts to commercial.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah.
You're thinking, you're pondering. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and she clearly felt terrible about dropping that bomb on him like that.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you thought someone knew this whole time, you're like, well, this is the reason why I'm, partially why I'm here.
Right, it's obvious, and it's just, his face is just so devastated, because, I mean, obviously you're fighting against this evil force, against Valentine. It's probably very hard to even fathom that your parents could possibly be on that side ever.
Exactly. Yeah. Especially when you're fighting for them.
Yeah.
And now you got to think twice about it, and their loyalty. If it lies, obviously you want it to be with your parents, but you're like, if they're traitors too, what?
Right. He's in a really tricky spot, especially because he and his sister have both been under a lot of pressure from their parents to step up and defend the Lightwood name, and you've got to be like, hey, but you are the one that messed it up in the first place.
Yeah.
And he's, Alec has been listening to everything they've said, and he's been suppressing himself, his sexuality, who he is, because he wants to make his parents proud, when really his parents are some of the biggest traitors and liars of them all. But it was a sad moment. I
still like them, though.
Luke was a Circle member. We love Luke.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you're younger, you make some wrong decisions and you follow the wrong thing sometimes, and you realize, I think throughout their whole lives, they've been trying to obviously make it right, make right with the decisions they made, but you don't get that time to say that in that short span of the show, that it's got to be told through action at the end.
Yeah.
And things have evolved.
Definitely. And it's hard to think of, you think, if you look at just real life, you look at teenagers that make stupid decisions all the time.
Yes.
And you think you forget that
still make stupid decisions.
Right? Every day, all of us do. But you forget that they were teenagers when this happened. They were young, and they, they're under a totally different kind of pressure than a teenager now makes a bad decision, goes to a party and has a few beers. They end up, trying to kill everybody. So it's just kind of
supernatural.
a totally different kind of pressure.
Yeah, they could definitely do more damage with those wrong decisions.
Yeah, this world is...
Yeah. Well,
I wouldn't want to be a teenager and...
Because you would turn into Simon, probably.
Probably.
Yeah.
That would probably happen to me.
And that's not going to be pretty. So after we see the whole thing at the Chinese restaurant, Alec and Lydia go back to the Institute to start doing the autopsy of these bodies of the Forsaken, or whatever they think that they are. And Magnus is mentioned, and Lydia says, I'm going to call in the highest warlock. And Alec's face, he goes, Magnus Payne?
It's going to be here.
That was so well played by
And then the
Matt.
Malik fans freaked out.
And then he said, he's magical. Or he's really good at magic.
And he did it in a way where it wasn't the typical what Magnus. It was so well played because it was so hidden, it was so subtle, but you saw that Lydia caught on to a little bit, like what's this relationship? What is this? What's going on between you two? And not knowing exactly what it is, but that's kind of weird.
Yeah. So you do think she did pick up on it? I
don't think she picked up on a relationship, but I think why why the weird reaction?
Right,
To
and she was
the
surprised that
warlock?
he even knew him.
Knew him, yeah, because
why
you're
did
not
he-
supposed to meddle in with downworlders.
Right. I don't know. The scene was a lot of fun, especially considering what ends up happening with them afterwards at the end of the episode. But we see Magnus get to come in and do the autopsy of this body with Izzy.
And how did they look so good? How do y'all look so good in the face mask?
I thought those face masks were just great. They were just like, it just was such something Magnus
I
would
feel like
wear.
it's something Lady Gaga would wear on
Yes.
a tour
Yeah.
too. So I think Magnus said, "Yes, this is fashionable. I will put this on." Or he wouldn't have put it on. I think if it would have downgraded his outfit, he would have left it off.
Very true.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine myself pulling that off. as well.
Channeling Gaga.
There we go.
Yeah, actually, I never drew the comparison between Magnus and Lady Gaga, but now I'm not going to be able to get it out of my head, honestly.
I mean, there's so many influences with Magnus's wardrobe, like David Bowie and like Prince, and
I
you know
see so
Gaga.
much Bowie in
There's a lot of
Magnus.
Bowie, and
Yeah.
and even with the people who like K-pop stars have drawn a lot from Bowie and Prince, and even Perry Farrell, you know, and
Yeah.
those rock stars that brought onto it. So I think Magnus has also been alive for so long that fashion, he's taken a little bit from each century.
It's amazing. Let me ask you about your relationship with Izzy. I love it. I want you guys to become like best friends forever.
Yeah, Magnus and Izzy, they just get each other. You never really see them interact as much as, you know, the other characters do, but I think it's this, they just get each other. Like he loves her fashion, and I think she gets Alec and Magnus, and wants that to happen, and she sees the attraction right away. But I think for them, they just share this thing where they could go to a concert, go to a movie, or just sit around and watch a TV show, and their conversations would be hilarious.
They have great chemistry, and I think that he also, you know, sees her as someone he can actually talk to about this Alec thing and, you know, everything that's going on, because she's one of the only people that openly knows more about Alec than
It
everybody
doesn't
else.
say anything
And,
about it, and that's the big part of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's usually when you tell someone, you're scared if whoever they're gonna tell, but the fact that she just keeps it to herself and only talks to the parties that are involved
Mm-hmm.
is to me, is a tremendous thing.
Yeah.
And she doesn't kind of, you know, Clary accosted Alec a little bit with her when she kind of figured it out and was like, come on, figure it out, guy. But, you know, Izzy is
Clary's
so
smart.
supportive, and, you know, I just like that she's so supportive of this relationship.
Yeah. I like the Izzy and Alex bond.
Yeah, and she
Very-
wants the best for her brother.
Yeah. Which is
Yeah. Well, when they're cutting open the body, which Izzy's a pro, it's like, what the hell? Like, where did that come from? She's just like loving chopping
Woman of
into
many
this
skills.
body.
honestly.
And she's like waiting to get in
Yeah.
there. She's like, I want to get
She's
in there.
so enthusiastic.
Yeah, she's like, what did she say? I can't wait to get my hands on this. And then Magnus
Of
says,
course, Magnus, twisting the words. He's like,
speaking
of, how's Alec?
Yeah, and they start talking about him, and Izzy kind of lets some stuff go and lets it slip that their parents are trying to marry him.
Mm-hmm.
And your face kind of drops.
Well, it's interesting because Magnus, you got to think they just met, you know, but obviously there's this sense of attraction and wanting to get to know someone a little more. It's specifically Alec, but I think what he's fighting is there's this person that exists that I feel like I have a connection with after all these years of having, you know, I wouldn't say failed relationships, because at the end of the day, he's seen people die that he's loved, you know, and I think that's what's difficult for him. But to find out that there's a possibility that he might do something against what his heart is telling him to do, even though that conversation didn't happen until after, right?
With Alec?
With Alec, that's
Yeah.
after. Okay,
Well,
so yeah,
it's right after, and that's what I have next to talk about is, you know,
transitioning into that.
Speaking of,
Speaking of, yeah, he's telling him to follow his heart at the end of the day, and I think he takes it in a way where we think as an audience, like, oh yeah, he's gonna listen to that, when his heart at the end of the day wants to help his family. You know, even though what he's saying to him is like, follow your heart with, you know, whatever you're feeling, what your true self is. But at the end of the day, he's built and taught to take care of family, and that's where his heart lies. So I think with him, there's different parts of your heart that in your heart that you can kind of listen to, because it's all something that you have to really follow when you're trying to what am I trying to say? When you're trying to speak from the heart, it's really difficult, because for him, he's at the end of the day, he's a soldier.
Yeah.
I'm very inspired right now.
I was misled too, though. I was sitting there watching the two of you on screen, thinking, "Okay, awesome,
It's happening.
It's happening.
Yeah.
Finally, it's happening. And I think that they obviously,
Which is what
it's great. That's good TV. When we feel so strongly this is happening, we love it, and then it flips on us. We had no idea.
You're like, wait, what?
But I think that you're right. I think that he does feel obviously very obligated and loyal to his family and his role as a shadow hunter. So for him, he knows it's looked down upon to, intermingle with the downworlders, especially in a very personal way. So he's kind of taken this other route here, which was very unexpected for all of us, I think. Made a lot of people really mad.
It made people really mad.
Oh yeah, I'm sure people got really mad.
I mean, someone on the chat earlier, a while back, commented that Lydia's his beard. So.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's what it's.
That was funny. Whoever commented that. I like.
Go Google that if you don't know what that is.
Yeah.
We have a relatively young audience. Sometimes.
Maybe don't.
Don't Google it. It's fine.
You know what? Basically, guys, a beard is just. I'm teaching the youngins here. I'm telling them.
It's a thing I can't grow.
Yeah.
I have a hard time growing.
It's not that bad. It's just when someone is, a homosexual and they are in a relationship with someone who is a heterosexual, and it's to cover up.
Yeah.
A beard's a cover up, right? It's a cover up of your face, so it's a cover up of who they really are.
Don't be a beard. Don't have a beard.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Live your life.
I should teach sex ed. No.
I feel like we're learning
This is gonna be a
lessons
section you're gonna AFTERBUZZ sex ed.
Yeah. Oh my god, the show gets so inappropriate every single episode, because we watch Shadowhunters and we're like, ooh, that's a nice sword, and they're like doing all these like sword motions.
There was one episode where it was just like all steamy, and we were
such a phallic sword moment. It was ridiculous.
Oh
it
yeah,
happens
there's a
all
lot
the
of
time.
phallic
the
sword. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's my favorite thing ever, and I feel
Phallic.
I know.
Phallic sword moment.
sword
Phallic Alex. That's gonna, or Phallic Alec is gonna be my show.
Phallic Alec.
No.
I can't
just
help
like
it.
every week listening to Erin and all the funny references that she catches, and she just gets so hot and bothered over it.
I can't control myself. I don't know why.
can't.
When you watch the episode, is there like,
Every
Yeah.
time. And I sit there and I'm laughing to myself, like alone in a room, because I think it's amazing. I like when shows that are, it used to be ABC Family. I know it's Freeform now, so we're kind of stepping up. But they sneak stuff in on purpose.
Yeah, I mean,
and it's great. It's
part
cheeky
of,
and fun.
Part of the we're sexual beings at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You can only cover up so much of and also it depends on where your mind's going too, because they probably mean a completely different thing.
Probably.
And you're like, there's a sword in it.
But it's great for me because I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah, Erin and I are both the oldest on the panel, and by far the most perverted.
I have to rein them in sometimes.
Yeah, it's very true. Well, what happens that we all know that we're leading to talk about is Alec decides to propose to Lydia. So
What?
yeah,
Dun dun dun.
their families can merge, and they will have the power. It is a weird choice, especially since he's so angry with his family at the moment, with his parents.
Well, I think it's making a bold decision. He needs to make a bold decision because he's been a leader that's wants to just take the right route, or the safe route, I guess. And for him, I think it's making a bold decision. Usually, the bold decision that everyone wants him to make is to, be who he is, be comfortable and tell everyone, what his real feelings are. But at the end of the day, he made this bold decision that would ultimately, I guess, help the name of the Lightwoods, which meant so much over many centuries.
How's Magnus gonna feel about this Lydia character? Because she's actually a fan
Jealous.
of his.
Yeah, that I can't wait for them to see that they'll meet each other. And for Magnus, I think is this worth it? I think it's can he take a heartbreak even before the heart even learns to love again? It's this weird thing. So I think we're gonna see in the future episodes how he deals with it when he finally finds out.
Makes me sad. I think she was totally blindsided by it too. I mean, she did not.
No
one
yeah.
expected this to happen.
I was kind of thinking like something's gonna happen between them, but wasn't expecting it.
The fans are not happy.
The fans are not happy.
Love them some Malik.
Drama.
I do love
Speaking
Malik.
of the fans, should we do some fan questions because we have like 1,000 pages of them, or do you have more?
Let's finish. I just want to finish talking about Simon, and then we'll go into fan questions. So, with Simon, you know, we have of course Harry here, so we've skimmed over some of the Simon stuff, but it was intense. It was great. Clary makes the choice that it's her that has to make the choice whether she wants him to die or be turned into a vampire or forever be trapped underground in hell. So obviously, you know,
it's a win-win.
Terrible multiple choice question answers.
I know.
I feel like we all knew what she was gonna choose. We definitely all knew what she was gonna choose, but at the same time, throughout the episode, I'm like, please make.
It felt like there was a solid chance of her.
She might just let him go.
No, it felt like that. Yeah, it did feel like that.
Which I understand. I mean, that maybe would have been a very humane thing to do, but I cannot imagine being in a position like that. Like, do I bury my best friend and hope he survives this, or do I kill him myself?
Yeah, it's weird. Like, I mean, the decision I would make, it's like bring him back, but you never know the consequences of those actions. Like, what he might do. He might cause harm to so many other people, and that's because, again, of your decision that you made. So it's really hard.
And does he want to be a vampire? Like, would he want to be brought back? That's not something you typically discuss with your friends. You know, if you become a vampire, do you want to
be a vampire?
Do you want to be a vampire?
Do you want to be vampires?
I would.
Okay.
I mean, we make
because we glamorize.
Yeah, we glamorize in a way, but I think what the writers did such a great job of grounding it and be like, this is a huge decision. Turning into a vampire is not just you get to have superpowers and
be sexy,
bite people and be sexy, but you know, there's just a lot of things that transition from a human into that. It's hard. I almost put it as, you know, if you have to amputate someone's legs, like that's gonna change someone's life, you know, and you're gonna have to live a lot differently. And so it's these decisions that have more consequences than, you know, us thinking, oh yeah, I want superpowers, so yeah, do it.
And I love that they did that on the show, because we watch a lot of vampire shows. We talked about this before, and in most of the shows, it is this very sexy, glamorous, it's wonderful, everyone wants to be this, and they live this great life. But I like that here we show that there's consequences to this action, that he's going to have a rough life. It's going to totally change everything for him, and this isn't something that he signed up for at all. No. None of it. He didn't want to be part of any of this.
Clary didn't know how he was going to feel, how he was going to come back.
He wants to do shows with his band.
We'll do the midnight.
You do the midnight.
Oh my goodness.
Midnight shows.
I loved though when Simon emerged from the grave. It wasn't sexy. Like, Raphael had blood bags ready for him, and he's just like pouring all these blood bags.
It wasn't like a Capri Sun.
It's like yum.
No, I know. And it terrified Clary, and he
terrified me.
Yeah, he even like tried to kind of like at Clary.
What did he try to do?
You would make a fantastic vampire.
One more time. Okay.
Someone make a joke or
a meme. Yeah, someone make a meme of me, please, being a vampire.
Please.
I would watch it every day. But Jace pulls her back, and you know it is very sad. We also had a Camille moment where Camille wants her property, which is Simon. The vampires are there backing her up, but then when they find out that she's broken the accord, which I'm like, don't they normally feed on humans anyways?
No. Oh no, that's not allowed in the Accords.
So what
animals?
So it's just animals. Okay.
No eating people.
And that's why it was like in the beginning of I think the first episode when they were trading blood, like getting human blood, that was an illegal thing, and that's why he had to stop them.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, obviously they alluded to there being some kind of underground black market with human blood here, but it's not technically allowed. And she kind of went straight out and did it. That's a big, public display of the wrong thing.
Exactly.
Right.
So the vampires look like they turn on her. Simon gets up, runs away, says he thinks he's just disgusting and doesn't want Clary around. Very sad.
Also, before that happens, we have people who reminded me the Falcon story happened.
Oh, yes. I didn't understand the Falcon story either. I was like, what are you talking about, Jace?
Well,
Oh, I know what he's
that
talking
was
about
Chase,
because I read the books,
right?
but he's talking about his dad.
Yeah.
He's
and
talking about himself.
He's basically talking about how love gets you in trouble, and love clouds your judgment, and he, in the books the story's a little more in depth.
Yeah, you're supposed to tame. Like he told him to tame and listen to him and like be a leader, so your soldiers will listen to you. And the fact that you loved it so much and you love them so much is going to taint your judgment. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and that's how he feels about Clary too. So it kind of was a two-sided story.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel this way, and you'll feel this way.
Yeah. I also liked that we saw like the parallels with Jocelyn and Luke.
Me too.
Before Claire made the decision to bury Simon and.
I agree. I love those parallels.
I loved it.
Me too. Because I always still think
she's like her mom.
Yeah, Jocelyn and Luke, to me, their end game for each other.
Yeah.
And if that parallels to Simon and Clary, then I'm like, maybe Simon and Clary are end game one day. And I don't know. I mean, fans are going to hate that, but I
like that, though.
Yeah, I do too. I really loved those flashbacks. I thought they were really helpful for the watchers to understand what happened.
Yeah, because it's a very complicated world at the end of the day, and I think the flashbacks definitely help to explain a little bit of why these relationships are so important.
That's what someone, because I've been looking at this question because I love their Twitter handle. Their Twitter handle is @Patronus Malik. It's like the combination of everything that I love.
You all have the best Twitter handles.
I love that if someone is like, if I had a Patronus, it would be Malik. It would be some combination of Magnus and Alec. But they asked if we were going to see any flashbacks and delve deeper into Magnus's past anytime soon.
Ooh.
We had.
Let me think in my brain. What have we shot?
What can I say?
We will see hints of Magnus. I mean, there's so much to explore. Like, it's almost a disservice if you don't.
Yeah.
And I think to understand Magnus, because, Magnus, he has a facade. Like, he has this exterior where everyone thinks, well, why is he this way? And some people are like, well, he's so big and grand and flamboyant and glamorous. When, sometimes people forget that that's a shell. At the end of the day, that's a shell, and that's what's got him to the place where he's at now and how he's actually survived all these years, because it's hard. People look at immortality as, again, just the same thing as what we're talking about with vampires. It's this glamorous thing. Like, yeah, I want to live forever, but imagine seeing everyone die and the pain and the human can only, although he's human and demon, but a person can only take so much of that before they just want to stop it. So the fact that he's continuing this journey through life is he needs to have this shell that he can protect himself.
It's got to be tiring.
Yeah, he's going to be a bit jaded. Speaking of fan questions, let's see. Is there a specific power you're looking for to display that you have yet to show? And you look awesome, by the way, says Teresa Silling.
Thank you, Teresa. We've seen him conjure up books and items for Clary, and I would like to see more of him using his skills to fight off demons. I feel that him and Alec would make a great team with the bow and arrow, as you saw in episode, I think 4, where they got to fight a circle member. And I would love to see Magnus utilize it, whether it be like using the magic to portal, but also to slide him throughout the room. Like, really, I feel he has the capabilities of that. And he's right now we see him use it in a very small way outside of using the portals. Or what I loved is when he lifted the whole his whole apartment and brought it over to a different location.
Which definitely makes it seem. I mean, he's the High Warlock. He seems like he has the capability of fighting with magic. And for those of my friends that also read the books, we know that may come to fruition at some point in time. But he's a pretty powerful guy.
Big plans for Magnus.
Yes. I have a question from Flori Nutsaradu. That's a nice username.
Nutsaradu.
Yeah, she wants to know what did you think about Matthew and what happened the first time that you two met?
Matt is a very interesting guy. He's really intelligent. He's really funny. He's charismatic, and the thing is, he's very knowledgeable. this guy, I felt like I didn't need Google anymore, because you could just ask him any question and he'll be able to give you. He is Google.
Oh, those are my favorite kinds of people. You're
He
like,
literally
hey,
is
what about
Google,
this?
and he'll come up with the most weird facts, but you probably won't like me telling him. But he loves cows. If you ever see him,
Really?
Interesting.
sorry, Matt. I gotta tell him. He loves cows. Like, he kept telling us to go when we went to New York. He's like, go to New York Zoo and please say hi to the cows. And he knew the name. He knew the name of the cows. I think he gave it a name, but
Oh my God.
gave them a name. But he's like, please go visit and say hi.
It's
to them
really
for
interesting
me.
that there are cows in the New York Zoo.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Wait, there's
Beautiful
cows?
animals.
You guys,
these cows.
that's like Dom. Dom came when Dominic Sherwood
Yeah.
came. All he did when we had to wait before the show started, we had like a good 30 minutes. He came a little early. He was showing us animal videos of like a fox locking a window, or like there's a panda being bathed, and he was just like,
Yes.
"Isn't it so
The
funny?"
guy with his bear.
And I'm like, oh my God, I love animal videos.
Like,
so
Matt's
much.
gonna get a bunch of cows shipped to his house.
Yeah,
I got
you would love it. You would love it.
Everyone adopt a cow.
Please adopt a cow and send it to Matt.
Has he seen? There's these little mini cows. They're like really tiny and they're really furry and they have little horns. And we have.
They don't get any bigger. They just
No, they're
stay that
tiny, yeah.
size.
They're
Like
like-
kind of like the pigs that you can own.
What?
Yeah, but not that small. Like, but you could carry it if you had strong
You can
arms.
carry a cow, like a little cow.
They're
that
very
doesn't-
small and they're very
Well, I don't have
furry and they
strong
have big
arms, so.
fat noses.
Wow.
I
Maybe
feel like this is what you have to get
I
a first birthday
think
now.
that might be that gift.
Tiny furry
send
cow.
one. A lot of people too are asking. They're like, "Where are the cats? Where are the cats?"
Oh, you'll see them.
Ooh.
Yay!
Another
That makes me
spoiler.
excited.
Yes.
People see the cats.
I have an interesting question from T-Wolf's Harmony. What would happen if Magnus was thrown into an ancient world of samurais?
That's a very open question.
Yeah, that's what would happen.
Well, maybe tune into the new movie on Netflix.
Yeah, maybe.
Crouching Tiger,
yeah.
Hidden Dragon.
I think that's where it comes.
Sword of Destiny.
Sword of Destiny. There you go. There's a little bit of Magnus snarkiness in that film.
Ooh, good. And that just came out on February 24th, I want to say, maybe?
26.
26.
Yeah, 26. Yeah,
I know, I keep
just
seeing
came out
previous
last
one.
week.
Yeah, cool.
Keep
So,
seeing
Yeah, you can stream it on
billboards.
Netflix if you want.
stream it
I saw
on
the
Netflix,
billboard the
guys.
other day.
I know we all had so many questions. But are there any others that you want to touch upon before we do some quick predictions?
Oh, I have a good question. I just wish I screenshotted this and now I can't see their screen name, so they need to come to the chat so I can find it out. But their question, this lovely person, their question was, what was the hardest thing about bringing Magnus to life on screen?
For me, the heart outs.
Oh.
You know, we talk about the makeup, we talk about the costume, and that I wouldn't say it was difficult. That was fun for me, but the difficulty was the layers. You know, how do you layer this character that has so much history, and put it into a scene? You know, where you don't want to give exposition and you don't want to show it all, but still have this hidden layer. To me, that was really the hardest, and making sure that the research that was done, that was put in, that we can do it in subtle ways with this character. So for me, that was really hard. And the glitter is always a difficult thing, because you go home
like,
and you
gets in
sleep,
your eyes.
and no, it's just on my pillow. And like it's on my clothes when I go home, and
Your wife wakes up and she's just covered
she's
in
covered in glitter. Every time I
She's like,
kiss
"What?"
her, she's like, her whole lips are just glitterified. I'm like, I don't know, I'm coughing it up. I'm sorry. I perspire glitter.
That was Patronus Malik on Twitter.
Oh, that was also Patronus
yes.
Malik. I love Patronus Malik.
Patronus Malik.
Also,
Killing it.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Also, there's people like every week who ask this. From Queen Joshua, who is your real life parabatai?
Who is my real life? Like just
In
in general?
In real life.
In life.
Oh,
Yeah.
in life.
life.
Yeah, she would be my parabatai. My wife would be. She's my best
Ow.
friend.
Becca's face just lit
That
up.
makes me happy.
Becca loves love.
We need to. I guess
I
we
do
need to
love
create
love.
we need to create the our version of the hand.
Yes.
Hand holding.
Yes.
Do you have any last questions, Dakota?
Yeah, really quick. We have 2 contest winners from last week. I want to make sure to get them in. One, Mike Cal Ash Lucas wants to know who your favorite member of the cast is.
Oh,
Oh,
that's a hard one.
you can't
Like,
just
how
say
do I
yourself.
pick your favorite child? Please, come on, tell us.
I like Jeremy better.
That's a hard one. I love them all dearly. They all have such unique, different personalities. I mean, one loves cows, and the other one loves watching pandas. And And I think that the dudes, I love the girls, but I bond with the dudes a lot. Like Isaiah and Matt and Dom and Alberto, and even we all have different ways of hanging out, and I love like shooting those videos with Emrod and Claire.
And Claire. Clary is my favorite member. Yeah, you guys seem like you have a lot of chemistry off screen.
Yeah, in different ways, and I love
cast.
hanging out with these guys, and that honestly is a huge plus, because sometimes you can go into a show and it's a disaster because you're like, I don't like anybody. Let me just get through this show. So it's fun that we love hanging out after we finish filming as well.
And you can see it on screen that you all like each other.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure.
Chemistry.
Did you have one more?
Yeah, the last one, Ordinary Angel 12 wants to know, what is your favorite part about being yourself, like as an actor, as a person? Like, what's something about you that you really like?
Well, you're not, Ordinary Angel, you are not ordinary. You're extraordinary, by the way. And what is it, what I like about myself?
Yeah, like what's one thing about yourself that you'd want people to know that you like about yourself that maybe others don't know?
This is a weird question.
Well,
I
let's
feel
do
like,
like
how do I brag
Can
about myself?
we do like a fun fact?
Yeah.
Fun
What's
fact.
something
Yeah, like
someone
a fun
doesn't
fact.
know about you?
What they don't know.
The general fan public.
My right foot's bigger than my left.
Like in a weird, creepy
That is
way?
not a great talent, or I don't even know why I said that. Now the world knows.
Does that hinder you in dancing? Do you have to like always pivot on the right foot because it's so
What
big?
I've noticed is my balance is better on my right than on my left. It's the weirdest thing, because I feel it's...
More surface area?
Yeah, I guess, right? I mean, it's not like one's 12 inches and one's like
I
9.
I keep wanting to look at your feet on the table.
Now everyone's gonna look at my feet. Anytime anyone needs to say hi.
It is bigger.
Let's have a camera pan over to his feet right now.
Speaking of the dancing that was just brought up, I want to say Erin's a really good dancer. We all know
Erin.
We all know Erin.
Yeah.
We were thinking about doing it. People wanted us all to do a dance off with you.
I know.
And so, like, we knew we wouldn't have time once you got here, so I filmed mine before you
Yeah.
got
Oh,
here.
did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm pretty amazing.
Yeah,
like a
she's
lot
great.
of jazz hands.
Hell yeah.
And, like,
Hell yeah.
She was head cheerleader in high school.
But they still put me in the back. I was only head cheerleader because I was the only senior on the
By default. But it's still.
They do this thing when you're head cheerleader. They like let you be the flyer, and they dropped me on the ground.
Oh.
Like,
Oh my God.
Threw me there. So I'm trying to
Any
redeem
injuries?
myself.
Sustain any injuries?
No, they didn't get me very high.
They just barely lifted you and dropped you.
So it was an award-winning cheer squad.
Yeah. So I'm trying to redeem myself by having an epic dance off with you, but it's gonna be via Twitter now because
Yeah.
Okay. we
I
can
did
do
already
that.
film mine. It's
All right, I'll
Yeah.
send one out.
On that note, let's get into some quick predictions.
Your
This is
AfterBuzz
the fun
TV
part.
predictions.
Wow, wasn't expecting
All right,
that.
start us off, Becca.
I'm gonna copy what you said earlier because I like the parallels that went on throughout the episode, and
With Luke and Simon.
I
and
know
Clary.
people are gonna hate me, but I think maybe there's still a chance for Clary and Simon
In
to
the
be
long
together.
run.
Ooh.
Also, I'm gonna predict a Malachus sometime, cause duh.
Gotta
Yeah.
happen.
All right, Dakota, let's throw it to you.
All right, I definitely think that there's going to be a lot of tension between Simon and Clary. I think that maybe Simon's going to like resent her and maybe wish that he would not have been brought back.
Okay, that's a good
I think
one.
so too.
What about you?
I'm
Erin?
terrible at predictions. I don't even know why I try this. I think reading the book totally messed me up, and now I don't know how to predict anything. I think we're going to see more of Valentine, and we're going to find out more about these Forsaken and this weird twist, because they're apparently way harder to kill than a normal Forsaken.
Yes.
I do also think that we're going to see something happen, obviously, with Alec and this marriage proposal. He's going to go, I think, strongly one way or the other. He's either going to follow his true colors and become Malik, or he's
Become
going
Malik.
to, go through with this kind of rash decision and get married.
Follow your true colors.
You're probably really bad at predictions too because you know too much.
I mean, I think a spaceship is going to come down and take all the Shadowhunters, and
And leave
then
only
they find
cows.
out that Magnus owns a planet of his own, and then he's going to colonize it all.
Yeah,
and-
he just been playing with that the whole
that
time.
sounds
That's the
yeah.
season,
Right,
folks.
that's the
Seems very
season, guys.
plausible.
Yeah.
AfterBuzz TV exclusive.
He's
got it.
Shadowhunters in space.
You heard it here.
I want to be that guy. Shadowhunters, Buzz,
So
AFTERBUZZ.
you can be that guy. This is your next gig.
That's
You're
my next.
Yes.
Shadowhunters are
Every week I'm coming in just to do that.
Well,
Yeah.
with me, I'm thinking a Malik kiss for sure. We have to have one by the finale, but I think it might happen sooner than that. And I think that Lydia is going to catch on about what is happening. I think she already has.
I think she knows, yeah.
Yeah, and she is just going to be like, okay, I guess.
Do you think she's okay with it? That's the question.
Well, I don't. She even said in the episode, if you can't fall in love with this job. You have to fall in love with the job. You can't really have a life because it will destroy your life and break your heart. So I think that this kind of relationship with Alec for her, and even knowing that he has a thing for Magnus, it might be just her cup of tea. Might
Business
be.
transaction.
Yeah, might be just what she needs. So those are my predictions. One more thing, Becca?
Before we end this, I want to ask, do you have any advice you would give Magnus? And that's from Haynes X Horn.
Ooh, I think for Magnus is he should listen to his advice that he gave to Alec, to follow his heart when the time comes that he finds out what exactly happened.
Yeah, that's a great question, guys. All right, Dakota, we have to say goodbye to you. We love
Yes.
you. We will see you next week.
Yes.
Bye.
See you later, Dakota.
Guys.
Yes.
Bye.
And
Bye.
we will see all of you guys next week. Let's recap one more time. Where can we find everybody online?
You can find me at Becca B Talks TV on Twitter and Instagram.
You cannot find me on Skype, but you can find me on my blog at alwayseatyourcake.com, on Instagram at alwayseatyourcake, and Snapchat and Twitter at Love Erin Lane. What about you?
You guys can find me online, SamDavidsonEntertainment.com, Twitter and Instagram, SamD43, Snapchat, SamDavidson25, and you, Harry, one
Whoa.
last time.
You can follow me at Harry Shum Jr. and at Harry Shum Jr. on both Instagram and Twitter, and also on Facebook.
Yay! Thank you so much. We will see you guys next week. Thank you for all the live chatters for tuning in. Bye!
Bye, guys!
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
See you later!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.